How's it going, everybody? Anthony or Deathkiller here. Hope you have a good one. No, I am myself, and it has been a while since I've actually sat down and played RuneScape. Um, I'm looking forward to it, actually. To give you guys a TLDR, super 10-second TLDR, maybe slightly longer, but it should be like 10 to 20 seconds TLDR. I took a break from RuneScape not because I didn't want to play it, but more because I wanted to play other games. And I figured it was a perfect opportunity. With Necromancy basically around the corner, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break until they announce a release date for Necromancy, and then I'll just go back and play it. With this, I also anticipated that the Necromancy release date would actually get pushed back until next year. Trust me, considering Jagex's track record on all of their games, this was a safe bet. But you never know. So I figured it would get pushed back to like next year and other bullshit. Needless to say, Jagex kept their word. And the reason why this sucks is because I wanted to do a bunch of content, and I even threw out a little bit of like just to test the waters, easy to edit, easy to upload video of me playing DDO for a couple levels. And then I was going to kind of see how any kind of reception of that style video. I was going to do a bunch of different style videos I was working on editing. I was going to upload them and see which one you guys liked. Needless to say, that's not happening anymore. We might do it if, during like another content drought or something. I might go and circle back the idea of record new content into it. We'll see. But for now, my entire 2023 game plans are scrapped because we have Necromancy, and I'm actually super hyped for it because it's a new combat skill. So super hyped for that one. So what we're doing this video, if you can't already tell from the thing, is we need to prepare for Necromancy. Luckily, this is actually easier done than said. That's probably a lie, but it shouldn't be too bad. I have the list pulled up of everything we need to, we should accomplish, and I'm gonna kind of spend this video just kind of going over it while I cook here because I have tons of fish I need to cook. So I'm going to be cooking, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of explain kind of my thought processes and all the little requirements here for anyone else who's curious. So Necromancy gets launched on August 7th, and on August 7th and August 8th will be my first stream, which you probably have already heard a couple times by now in this video, but we're going to mention it probably a good bit and in every video that's get uploaded because I want to drill into people's heads that on August 7th and August 8th, I will be doing my first streams. And it's to kind of commemorate the release of RuneScape's first combat skill. We're going to have a good time and just have a grand old time. Anyways, back to the Necromancy stuff. But so be there, be square. I'm sure I've advertised a bunch, but let's get back into it. So Necromancy. One of the first things is smithing. 15 plus smithing for forging Necromancy weapons. Necromancy weapons upgrades are earned by leveling Necromancy and completing various requirements. So to kind of go over how upgrades work with Necromancy, before I go into this, I realized I should have covered this, so I'm really good at talking about things if you can't tell. But to go over how Necromancy upgrading gear works isn't actually like normal gearing in RuneScape where you go and you fight a boss for RNG and call it a day. Now, supposedly, until it gets launched, we don't know for fact, obviously, but supposedly it's not RNG based and it's just kind of skill based. You go and you level up, you complete a challenge, you get something that allows you to then go and upgrade your gear a little bit more, and then that's how you progress your gear. On top of that, you have to complete various quests, skills, and challenges to be able to upgrade our armor and the whole nine yards. So I'm sure it's all like intertwined. We'll have some crap to go with it. I'm assuming it's similar to archaeology where once you get to a certain level, you can go into a thing and who cares, right? It sounds good fun, and I really like the idea that I don't have to grind a boss mindlessly for hours to be able to get an upgrade that is for gear, and I'm down for that system. So we'll see. There's also a talent tree that's built to this to Necromancy with, again, the same thing. As you complete challenges, you get talent points put into it, and as you level, blah, blah, the whole nine yards. So whole thing on that one. So have that going. So that's how it works. So when we mention upgrades, we're not talking about straight up crafting a new weapon. We're talking about upgrading your current weapon to the next tier or your current armor to the next tier. Now, to upgrade these things, smithing, you need 5 levels lower than the tier. So for example, to make the tier 90 weaponry, I need tier 85 level 85 smithing to make the tier 90 smithing, tier 90 necromancy weapon. This is good for us because we have 92 smithing and we also have 87 crafting. I thought 87 crafting. So that means I can make the tier 90 weaponry and gear, which is, I kind of covered crafting. Crafting is used to make your gear. So we have that. So that's good. We already have that covered. Next up is runecrafting. So with runecrafting, we have to use incantations. We're not required for the combat portion, but it is, we'll see it when we get for actually released, so I don't want to say for certain, but you go and you use necromancy to do incantations and a whole bunch of stuff. Now, runecrafting, you are going to need to make runes. These runes are 4 tiers. You have spirit runes, which you can make at level 1 runecrafting, bone runes at level 20, flesh runes at level 40, and miasma runes at level 60. I'm level 65 runecrafting, so something I'm going to want to work on is actually getting my runecrafting up a little bit. This is for a couple of reasons. The first reason is obviously the chance of making double runes, right? I didn't want to just not have a decent runecrafting level and not be able to, and I'd basically be forced to craft runes at a 1-to-1 rate, and basically end up spending the first the first day of release just runecrafting. That sounds honestly terrible content, but hey, to each their own, right? Inefficient runecrafting, I may add you, because I've never done runecrafting in RuneScape 3. So there's that. So we'll have that to do. So I want to get my runecrafting up at runespan. Now the second reason is because we need pure essence to make these stuff. Because you have to use a pure essence at a ritual to make impure essence or something like that, and then we use that impure essence to make these other things. So whole kind of trickle down effect here we have to do. So because of that, I want to get my runecrafting up again, because I haven't really used any of the pure essence I get from the rune chest you get from getting your runecrafting up. For those of you who are not curious, you get, I think it's 24,000 free pure essence from the rune chest in the Wizards Guild by getting up to level 99 runecrafting. So I have, I think, 17,000, or sorry, a little over 16,000 in my bank from leveling up, and I'm sure other stuff. So that's why I want to get my runecrafting up a little bit, is kind of those two reasons. Chance for the multiplicative runes, and also get a little bit more pure essence. We can also do temple trekking for pure essence if we want to. So that's another thing we can do. So we have a handful of ways we can get the pure essence, but we'll go over that later. For now, we're just talking about the skills and other arbitrary requirements. Sorry, there's a bird running around all over my body. The next thing to talk about is prayers. Now, prayers are pretty simple, and I have pretty bad reading comprehension, so when I first read this, I thought you needed prayers to use necromancy, and I'm just an idiot, so ignore that portion. But, it's just like normal prayers. You need level 10 plus to activate prayers that benefit necromancy. So at level 46, you have access to the normal strong variant, and then I'm assuming at level 70, you'll get the piety, rigor, and augury version of it, and then at 99 and so forth, you have the curse variants and stuff like that. So there's the normal prayer stuff. We have level 81 prayers, so we're good. I don't think I'm going to get 99 prayer and unlock the codexes and everything in the next month. I'm sure it's possible, but I'm just not going to do that. So I'm going to just say that outright. Well, maybe possible. It's not something I'm doing. Next up is Herblore. I have the levels for this as well, which is actually crazy good. We have all the level requirements, which is a huge relief. So Herblore, level 11 plus Herblore for necromancy potions. Since it is a combat skill, we are going to want to have some stat boosting potions for it when we do combat with it, so it'll be helpful. Just to kind of do a bit more damage when we do bossing and the whole 9 yards. Now, here's something I probably should do, but I'm most likely going to neglect, but we'll see on how my budgeting of time works. If I have extra time to work on this, then I will make some overloads. But to go over it, we need level 11, we can make necromancy potions. Level 79, we can make super necromancy potions. And level 93, we can make extreme necromancy potions. At level which we can boost for the 93 one, so that's good. At level 96, we can still make overloads, so that's good. And elder overloads at 107, which we can't do. So we still can make our overloads. And any current overloads I have or you have will be transferred into the new one, so you don't have to worry there. So we'll have the nice new overloads, which is great. So what a lot of people are doing, especially Ironman, is they're actually stockpiling on the old overloads right now. So this way they'll transfer to the new ones and they don't have to worry about even touching the necromancy potions. This is something I should do, and I'm not going to do. I might do, I should say, because if time allows it, I will. But the reality is I'm not at the point in my character yet. I'm close to it, but I'm not really at the point in my character yet where I can just go and make a bunch of overloads and call it a day. I'm sure I have the supplies to make a fair bit, and I'm sure I will sometime this next month, but it's not my highest priority, and I know that might annoy some people, and I do apologize, but I want to focus on some of the other things to at least get necromancy on the ground up, and then later down the road, we will focus on kind of the supportive aspect of it, and I know that's shooting myself in the foot long term, but I don't care about long-term gain. I just want to have some fun with necromancy as soon as possible, so that's what we're doing. Next up are quests. Luckily, we have all of the quests except for 2 completed, and they don't seem that bad. Temple of Senestin for Curses, While Gothic Sleeps, King's Ransom, Ghost Ahoy, Jack of Spades, and the Blood Pact are all of the quests I have completed. The 2 quests I don't have completed are Vengeance, Fremnik Saga, and Nadir, Fremnik Saga. I can complete these 2 quests, I assume, fairly easily, so I'm going to go and knock those 2 out sometime this month. This way we'll have all the quests knocked out. I don't know exactly what these are, but they're supposedly useful, and I might as well knock them out. I mean, more quests done isn't a complaint. Now, next up is all of the items that are useful for Necromancy. Now, useful for Necromancy doesn't mean required. They are just things that we can find they're just going to be nice to have, I'm assuming. So, some of the stuff, grain of salt to get and everything else. From what I've been told, to kind of cover the obvious thing here, bones. We need bones, right? From what I've been told a couple things. First things first is you're not going to need more than 1,000 of each bone type, so that's good. That is actually huge relief, and also means we can probably work on it while we're leveling Necromancy, so that would probably be not a bad shout, right? You know, once we'll do obviously get some basic bones initially, like the low-hanging fruit ones, like we'll get bones, big bones, baby dragon bones, and dragon bones kind of easily right off the bat. And then later down the road, we'll probably knock out some of these Dagonoth bones and, you know, wyvern bones and orc bones, maybe like hardened dragon bones, dragonkin bones, stuff like that later down the road. We'll probably knock those things out later just because of, you know, what they are. Now, luckily, to be said on these bones, we are getting things called last wills from playing the game, and you get these just from getting XP. I currently have 1,500, and these can be traded at a 1-to-1 ratio for a random type. You can get like low, medium, large, and I think like extra large or something. You can get a bunch of different tiers. Each one of these tiers gives you a different type of bone. It can give you different types of bones and with like some amounts of them. So we're going to have a decent way of acquiring bones just throughout the month. I don't know how long this lasts. It lasts until July 17th, so that's good. So we have, I got 17 more days of me recording this, so I lost about 11 or about 10 days, which does suck. But we have 17 more days to utilize this and to get a bunch of these things to trade in for bones. So once July 17 hits and this event is done, we'll see how many more bones we need in general, and then we'll circle back to it. So for now, I'm not going to focus on getting bones until that last 2 to 3 weeks, at which point we'll start grinding some of these bones out, especially the more annoying to get ones. And for the next couple of weeks, we're going to focus on just some general skilling and just general gameplay, as the bone grinding or the bone acquisition is probably going to take up most of my time from that period afterwards. Obviously, if you're a regular account, you can probably buy these fairly easily with no problems, but we are not a regular account. We are an Ironman, so we're going to have to do some struggle busing. But hopefully we'll get a fair bit with all these last wills, so that's pretty good. Next up is Pure Essence. The Pure Essence I've covered, so what we're good there. We're going to just get some just from our adventure. So we should have hopefully around 20,000 by the time we're done. If I can get more, we'll get more. But I don't think we're going to need a crazy amount of Pure Essence. I'm not going for 99 or 120 right off the bat. I'm simply going for probably 70 to 90. I would like to get 90 if I'll be completely honest. So this way it's tier 90. Obviously getting 99 would be amazing, but I'm not going to bank on it, right? I would just like to. So we'll see how it goes, though. If I love this skill, we might get up higher. I'm just saying for now, I'm banking on getting it to tier 90 and just using it as a general combat skill. That's the game plan, and obviously we're going to have fun with it. I'm not going to rush it. I'm just going to have fun, move at my own pace. If that pace is fast, great. If that pace is slow, great. We'll just move at whatever pace I feel like. So that's the thing to mention. The next thing to mention, and this is the biggest kind of shoot in the chest here, are three specific items that really kind of make me cry. The subjugation, chest, head, leg, boots, and gloves, updated to include gloves and boots. I guess before it didn't. And then the spectral spirit shield and draconic visage. These things hurt because nobody knows exactly what these are for. Because Jagex themselves have said that the upgrades aren't actually going to require any RNG tied to them. Yet these are RNG items that you have to get. The Draconic Visage is very RNG, Spectral Spirit is RNG, and Subjugation is all RNG. So they said there's no RNG with upgrading your gear and weapons, yet at the same time they have these items on this list, which definitely provides a little bit of confusion on my part, and my assumption is a couple things. first things first, they are maybe for making a separate augmentable piece of gear, right? Maybe the base set is perfectly fine, but then to make it augmentable, you probably need to get subjugation, at which point that's perfectly fine. Or, alternatively, you use these to disassemble to then get for necromancy augmented pieces, at which point that makes more sense in my head because it doesn't rely on RNG to actually upgrade the armor, but it's RNG to augment it, and I think that's perfectly fine, and that could go well with like the spirit shield and the draconic visage can also tie into that as well. I don't know for a fact. I'm just speaking out loud on my speculation, and I'm sure someone has an actual answer from one of the many people who've actually play tested, but for now, I haven't really looked into any of that stuff. I've just been kind of going and doing my own thing, and I've been going off of rumors I've been told, so we'll see there. Now, the next thing to mention is there's also Spider Silk and Mystic gear that we are going to want to get, but that's kind of whatever, I'll be completely honest. We can buy those from shops, so assuming we don't need more than one, we'll be fine, but I'll probably buy some just throughout the month if I remember. If I don't remember, then I don't give a shit and I won't, but if I remember and bother to do it, we'll get some, so great. Next up is the Algurin thread. I'm assuming we're not going to need a lot of these, but you can buy this from a shop. Wool is a huge thing I'm actually genuinely scared about, I'll be completely honest, because I don't have a lot of wool and I don't know how many is going to be needed, so I'm actually really scared of that one. I only have like 200, or 100 or 200, so we'll see, and it specifically says from player-owned sheep, so I'm probably going to have to buy a bunch of sheep and start farming them, which is actually what I'm going to get doing right after we're done here. I'm actually going to go and set that up. The next thing are middle bars from Bronze Bane. We'll work on that one sometime during the next 17 days while we're going for XP. Igneous Stone, this is pretty obvious to me. This is just to get a cape upgrade to the new Necromancy cape. That seems kind of obvious to me, I'll be completely honest, but that's most likely what it's for getting the best in slot cape. The Prosthex Codex, I believe, is for getting the tier 99 curse. I'm assuming that's what it's for, whatever the next codexes are for. I'm assuming it's for something like the 99 tier 99 curse or some shit like that. So again, I'm not even at that stage yet for these two things, so that's whatever. But everything else we can actually kind of knock out for the most part, except for some of these bones. I don't know how to get hardened dragon bones, but I'm sure I can get them. I don't know how to get dragonkin bones, but I'm sure I can get them. I don't know how to get reinforced dragon bones, but I'm sure I can get them. Arid bones, I don't know how I can get them, but I might be able to. But some of these other things I can knock out. We also have the last spells, like I said before. And like I said another time, I only want to get up to 90/99 at the most. If I can get up higher, great. If I can get up to 99, great. But for the most part, my goal is only tier 90 for now. Now, one more thing to mention that Jagex has kind of said about Necromancy, or with the Necromancy update, is that ED3 is going to be getting nerfed. I do plan on taking advantage of that this weekend. I'm going to not necessarily get 99s. I'm not going to try to pretend about that, but I do want to kind of balance some stuff out. I would like to get my magic up to 90. That's not that big of a deal because I can do that via some other stuff. I can do that via Sunspear, so I'm not too worried about that one. But I mainly want to get my... I don't actually know. Actually, I think I do want to get my magic up. I don't know. I'll have to think, but I'm going to do ED3 for some stuff. I would like to get my strength up to 90, and I would like to get my magic up to 90 just to kind of get those fleshed out. But honestly speaking, considering I have the ability to go and use the Sun Spear, I'm not too worried about those combat stats. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not that worried because I can just go and do Sun Spear. Yes, it is a lot slower, but I can just go and do Sun Spear all the way up to 99. So I'm not that worried about it. Yes, it is a lot slower and a lot more resource intensive than ED3, but I don't want to say who cares, but it's not that bad. And we're fine. Like tier 90 plus, I'm sure we'll be fine. But I do want to take advantage of it a little bit. So we'll see. It's not on the front list of things I want to do, but it is on there. So to kind of recap the general game plan, what I'm going to start working on immediately is obviously getting wool. I want to start getting the metal bars. I do want to work on getting some subjugation pieces, so we will do that at some point. I am going to work on getting bones, but that's after the 17th, and I do want to get my rune crafting up a little bit. I would like to get it at least up to level 80. Level 90 would be great, but at least level 80, so we'll see. The rune crafting thing is kind of meh, in my opinion. We do want to get it up. I'm not going to kill myself over it, but we have tons of stuff we want to do. Obviously, the metal bars is a low-hanging fruit one we can knock out anytime. The sheep I'm going to go to actually do right when we get off. I'm going to start planting or start growing some sheep. I'll go and buy them, I guess, with beans if I have. I have some beans, so yeah. I guess we'll buy them and start growing them in the whole 9 yards with that. So I think we'll be good there. And we'll just go and utilize that. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one where I'll probably have a progress update on the growth.